Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
Kia ora, Kendall and Renee. Welcome back to Fill the Gap. We are talking about Livingstone Drive and our real striving position for becoming a fully bicultural centre. So I think it's important to shed light on what this looks and sounds like. I think after our kōrero at Toiho Mai, Renee, it pointed out to me there's some real cool nuances that we need to continue to share. So how are we going in that space, I think, is the first thing. You're on the coalface for us, Kenny. How's it going?
It's going really well. I feel lucky that I'm in a position where I can share some of my knowledge with my two teachers who are really enthusiastic to learn it. Armin speaks Punjabi and English, and she's so excited and motivated to learn Te Reo Māori. And then Kayla is excited because she's just finishing studying and she's able to finally put it into practice.
Yes.
And so being in an environment where I'm able to role model it and make it a living, breathing experience rather than written is really exciting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I think it's quite important for us for it to be that saying, for the culture to be in the walls, not on the walls. So making sure it's, because you don't really learn from having things written around you. You learn from actually doing.
Yeah, that's
and
from
being
my
immersed in it.
experience as well. You feel more confident when you hear it.
I love that. I've never heard that. In the walls, not on the walls. Oh, I love that. Okay, so that in the walls, in this space of tokenism,
Yes.
right? That's what we're and to give people background in it. Like in my primary school days, it was like, ERO's coming. We're going to get some stuff up on the wall. We've got 10% of the room is covered in Māori. Where's the songs? Quickly, tu te on mai nā iwi. It was, not quite like that, but that's what it felt like.
But that's what
And it especially felt like that being Māori. It was like, quickly, we need Māori stuff. And they were like, Ray, you're the brown guy. Can you get some kapahaka going? That's what it did feel like to me. It wasn't quite like that, but it did feel like that to me.
That's definitely what it's like in most childcare centres as well. So you have your one person who's quite strong with their Te Reo Māori and they usually drive it. So it's quite important for us to...
And I wasn't even strong. I just had a good tan and wide feet. That's I think that's probably the piece of it. So in the walls... What is that in practice? What is that looking like so far?
So I think Kendall does well being obviously in the kirikahurangi room daily, just utilising it with every sentence that she speaks as much as she has the capacity to do so. Holly obviously being here as well, she is doing the same thing in the Waireti room, and when I am in both spaces I also make sure I'm using the Māori, not so much followed up by the English, just using the Māori words to go alongside, because that's how children are going to learn it as well. And then it gives, so I've known Kayla, obviously, since she started her study 3 years ago, giving her more confidence with hearing it from Kendall. She actually has the confidence to actually utilise it as well.
And what are some of the barriers outside of your own proficiency in Te Reo Māori, Kenny, but what are some of the barriers of the acquisition of the language or utilising the language in that space that we can probably look to address?
For me, going back thinking about my Te Reo Māori journey, it was probably a confidence thing and a worry of making mistakes and feeling embarrassed, especially if you aren't Māori, that you don't want to offend anyone or make yourself feel silly. But for me, just pushing through that uncomfortability that you can initially feel, and the more that you keep practicing and trying and asking pātai if you're unsure, is the only way I've found to overcome that. And so that's what I encourage my kaiako to do as well, and I think it empowers them and makes them feel more motivated and inspired to use it.
And I think it's worth pointing out, in our kirikahurangi space and our infant space, we've got Kayla, who's of South African descent, we've got Armin, who is Punjabi, and Kenny, who is of Hamilton descent. I think that is what's really inspiring to me as Māori, is seeing practitioners out there that really are grasping the challenge of the bicultural approach. Let's quickly just touch on already what we're seeing in terms of pure benefit. We've talked about the teaching team feeling more confidence, but What does it look like in a space of positivity and a light of positivity in the rooms?
I think for me, I like to explain why we do it to my kaiako and to our whānau, that it is following Te Whāriki, which is our curriculum written in both English and Te Reo Māori, and that's upholding the treaty and our responsibility to Te Tiriti o Waitangi. So giving a little bit of history around why it's important for the language to thrive, and that this is a huge part of our place in Aotearoa. So I find that
A unique part.
Yeah. And hearing people from other cultures, their experiences, and then coming here, it's quite cool for them to see how we're doing it.
Yep, agreed. And Renee, in that leadership space for you, I know this has been a real clear goal of yours. What are just some of your real highlights in the last, 10 weeks, 11 weeks? What are we in?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, 11 weeks or so.
Yeah. We're in it. Highlights, I guess we've actually, because when we have whānau come in, they're actually really excited that that's actually one of their aspirations as well. Yes. We've got Kaya's mum, who is doing a Te Reo Māori course at Toyoho Mai currently. Awesome. So because she's, that's her haringa to support her tamariki, as well as Ezra's mum, Tyler. That's big for their family as well. To it's a big, So it's great that although we didn't know these whānau before, and because when we've set them out the information of what our vision is, that's actually really hit home for them too, and they're like, wow, I found my place. And
but it's also not, let's be clear, it's also not just for Māori whānau. Like what we're trying to, I grew up, and Renee, when we grew up, it wasn't cool to be Māori, it wasn't cool to speak Māori, te kōrero mai Māori, it just wasn't a thing. You carried shame about it, you were lost in the language, and again, I was a kohanga reo child, went into mainstream school, wasn't used, in fact, it was laughed at. If we're trying to remove the pain of, and also, when I lived overseas, Māoridom was actually massively important to every Kiwi that I met.
Yes.
Waitangi Day in London, if there's whānau out there that have been in London on Waitangi Day, it is hakas everywhere.
Yeah.
From all Kiwis, not just Māoris. It's a real binder in that sense. So I think it's important to illustrate being bicultural doesn't mean we're just looking for Māori whānau. It's not that. It's about opening doors so people can walk through them and get to know and understand.
Yeah, I think it's more the wins that those families are actually really enlightened that that's something that we hold dearly to our heart as well. Because they've been in other services before, and that's obviously Te Whāriki is the same curriculum that we all have in ECE, but it's not, incorporated as much as it should be.
It's not in the walls.
Yeah, it's not in the walls.
It's not in the walls. It's on the walls, not in the walls. Okay, well, look, I know it's just a quick chat on this. I could probably go on for a lot longer, and I'm sure we will come back and revisit the progress. But I really appreciate the mahi you guys are doing, especially Kenny Dog out in the Kiri Kahurangi space. I really appreciate all that. And, I look forward to seeing if it's at this space now.
Yeah. We've reached out to a couple of providers to do our own Te Reo Māori course next year, and then we'll all be doing it together, and hopefully other future focus kaiako can actually be involved in that too, and it'll be held here so that we can all move on this haringa together and
support each other. Awesome. Well, love you mahi team, thank you very much.
Kia ora.